Hey, everybody. This week, I want to talk to you about how you should handle different scenarios at home, in the school, and or as a leader of a club as a leader. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. So yeah, and I hope you enjoy. All right. So remember, my goal for you is character and leadership development. That's really why we do all these videos, and that's really what I want to get through out of this series. So I hope that as you listen, a part of what I say can become a part of what you do and how you act as a leader. All right. Now, I truly believe that real leadership, it's not about holding a title. You could strip away the title of a leader and they would still be a leader. Why? Because real leadership is all about who you are as a person. All right. So always remember that it's not just about a title, but it's really about who you are and how you carry yourself as a leader. And that's what I hope to talk to you about today. All right. So before we begin, I believe that the best way to learn about leadership is by experiencing it. I got to say, there's nothing I can teach you that experience can teach you. So as you go through life, you're going to have many different opportunities. Learn. Unfortunately, we will make mistakes, but learn all you can. But the second best way of learning about it, especially if you haven't had a leadership position yet, is learn from other people's experiences. So today I'm going to be sharing with you about how I would handle all of these different experiences. All right, cool. Let's begin. So 3 scenarios today. And these are all commonly asked questions from my students to me. So one of the questions that I've gotten recently a lot is, hey, during this pandemic, our family doesn't talk much to each other. All right, now I'm going to teach it to you in 2 ways. Okay, number 1, some things to keep in mind. And then number 2, some things that you should be doing as a leader. All right, here we go. Nice and simple. So here's some things to keep in mind. Number 1, know that you're loved. Your family loves you. Okay, so I understand that not everyone shows love the same way you do, but you have to understand that we were all created differently with unique personalities. And I truly believe that. So maybe some people are more outgoing, some people aren't, but you have to know that your family loves you. No one loves you like your family loves you. So just keep that in mind. All right. Understand that people are adaptable. So just because they're a certain way now, we shouldn't just say it in our minds of, oh, that's who they're always going to be. No, people are adaptable. And it takes time for that adaptability to happen. All right. Number 4. Start creating new norms. If there are some norms of your family that have been there for a long time and for as long as you can remember, just know that you can help change that. You can help start establishing some new norms. Even though you're the youngest or the middle sibling or maybe even the oldest sibling, you can do it. You can be a leader. And then understand number 5, timing is important. If you ask someone to do something, you have to also understand what's going on in their life at that moment. When they're in the middle of everything, it's like if there's so much going on in their life or maybe in their job and you ask them, hey, let's talk more to each other. That may not be the right time. So you have to understand that timing is very, very, very important. So how do we handle the situation as a leader? Okay, so let's go through it. Number 1, leaders take initiative. So if you want to grow in your leadership, even in your family, take initiative, right? Take the initiative and create opportunities for you to grow together. Number 2, people, I truly believe, are a mirror of you. If you're nice, they'll be nice back. If you're sarcastic, they'll be sarcastic back. If you're passive aggressive and like, oh, this family, right? They're going to be that back to you. So it starts with you, right? So keep that in mind. Number 3, when's the last time you genuinely thanked your family, right? So think about that and do it more often. The more times you thank someone and the more likely they are going to be to open up to you. So even if they don't deserve the credit in this moment, think about all that they've done for you. Thank them for that. And that will really propel them to open up. All right. So keep that in mind. Number 4, be intentional and create an activity for more discussion. I'll never forget this. One of my students from years ago, they said, you know what? We weren't having that many conversations around the dinner table. So I told my family that there's a school assignment for me to ask my family 10 questions. And little did I know, because it was a school assignment, well, obviously like the parents participated more in it. And then over time, they found that because of that one school assignment, now their family's been talking more and more. So you do whatever it takes and understand that we need to put effort when it comes to making more discussion. Some parents do it naturally, some parents don't. But as a family, we all have to work together to make that happen. All right. And then once again, I've talked a lot about this, but create memorable moments. That's what leaders do. And through those memorable moments, your family's going to talk more and bond more, etc. And take more photos too. Like I always think about that too. Like we have these awesome camera phones now. Take more photos. And then finally, number 6, be patient and understand that you're not going to maybe see a shift immediately, but eventually you will. And you have to understand that. Leaders are patient and they understand that in the long run, all these efforts are going to pay off. All right. So I hope you learned a little bit from that. Number 2, how to handle constructive feedback from a close friend or a family member. Let's talk about that. Constructive criticism, constructive feedback. So some things to keep in mind. Big picture. All right. That's what leaders do. That's what we understand. Big picture is more important than what we currently see right now. Constructive feedback may hurt in the short term, but you have to understand constructive feedback will bring you so many benefits in the long run. I would rather learn now and be reflective versus learn later the hard way. All right. So that's what part of growing up and developing is. I'd rather learn all about it now. Right. So the second thing, the best leaders learn to listen, and they learn at a young age that mentorship is really important. By listening to this podcast, you are open to mentorship. That's why you, whoever's listening right now, you're going to grow so much by just listening about all these scenarios and all these skills that I'm trying to teach you. And once again, the best leaders at a young age learn to value mentorship and just growing opportunities. All right, so here we go. How can we handle constructive feedback as a leader? All right, so let's talk about this. Number 1, I know it's going to hurt, and no one likes being criticized, right? So understand that it's going to hurt, right? Because at the end of the day, we're trying our best and we want people to see that. But unfortunately, whenever criticism does come to us, or constructive criticism, or just feedback, it hurts, right? Because you're like, I'm trying my best, but understand that they're trying to help you as well. So number 2, have the right mentality. Don't view it as an attack, but view it as like, hey, they understand that you're going to be a great leader one day. And by teaching you now, you're going to be a better leader in the future as well. All right. So have the right mentality about feedback. So it's not a bad thing. I really think it's a good thing. And once again, see it as an opportunity to grow versus a personal attack. I just talked about that, but that's so true, right? These days, I just feel like anytime any feedback is given, they're like, oh, really? That's like, you don't like how I do things, except no, they do, but they're just trying to give their 2 cents to you. Be a good listener. Even if in your mind, you're like, this will not help me at all, be a good listener. That's what leaders do. Be mindful of your facial reactions. All right. Have you ever thought about like how you currently look? Like especially like when you're, I'm not gonna do that. Actually, maybe I'll just do it real quick. So, some facial reactions, like people are like this, like really, versus like, I don't think you should smile and like be like, no. Like don't do that. But just listen, like have a cool face and just listen and just be mindful of how you're looking in that moment that they're giving you feedback. Be cool. Don't get emotional. I know it's so easy to be like, hey, really? Well, look at the way you do things. No, don't attack back. No, be cool. Don't get emotional. Respond in kindness and in gentleness. Address what they've said with your point of view and how you feel. Just have a little dialogue. But once again, it's more about listening versus explaining yourself, right? No, just accept it. And then understand that everything is rooted with probably something else. All right. So I'll go more into that in a few weeks from now, but yeah, there's a root most likely as to why they're bringing this up. All right. Here's a great quote. Even if you're 2% responsible for the conflict, accept 100% of that responsibility for that 2% fault. That's such a great quote right there. Even if you're responsible a little bit, take responsibility as a leader. The answer is to give it time and space. Don't try to fix things immediately, and understand that healing will happen over time. You may need to take a break after a while, like for this person, but as a leader, we always come back, and it should strengthen all relationships. All right. So keep that in mind. My challenge for you, ask someone in your life who knows you and would tell you the truth. Can you tell me honestly one area in my life that I need to grow in? Right. And then what do you respond with? Thank you. That's it. You asked for the advice. When they tell you, don't explain yourself. Thank you. Because here's the thing, you are going to learn so much if you ask that question. What can I grow in my life? All right. Scenario number 3, what do I do if my parents/family is going through hardship? So, this is a big one, especially like in high school or in college or as a student. Understand that some things are out of your control. Like you cannot control everything. Bad things, unfortunately, happen to all of us. And if you're going through it right now, all I got to say is I'm very, very, very sorry. Number 2, Don't blame yourself. I know it's so easy to look at ourselves first and be like, this is my fault. This is partially of my doing. But once again, some things are way out of your control. Give yourself a break. You are not solely responsible for fixing problems. You're not the parent. And it's not your responsibility to make everyone happy. However, you can still be there as a child and as a leader and show some love to your family during that time. Okay, so some examples of hardship that I've heard over the years of teaching. Number one, parents' loss of job. Number two, loss of a family member. I've been through these things. Illness in the family, been through that. Family conflict and disagreements. Every family has that. So I think we can all understand these different examples here. So how do you handle it as a leader? Well, in all these circumstances, I would say these things apply to all of them. Number one, speak nicely. Speak nice words. Speak words of life to your family and your parents during these difficult times. Be encouraging. Like if your parents just lost a job, like don't be like, like you deserve that. No. They don't deserve that. Remember, they're your family and you need to love them. So be encouraging in the words you speak. Hey, you can do it. All right. Just be super encouraging. Help out more at home, chores wise. Don't wait for them to ask for help. Just step in. That's what leaders do. They don't wait. They just step in and they serve and they help out. Be mindful of spending, especially like if finances are tight. Always be patient and hopeful that things will get better. So if you love this video and if you've learned something from this video, we've got 2 more coming up. And I'm so excited to teach you about leadership scenarios at school and leadership scenarios in a club or an organization. Thanks for watching.